Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Health and Wealth. I am your host, Henry Aaron Westbrooks. It is a sensationally gorgeous day today in Southern California. I hope you're having a great time wherever you are in the world. Right now, we have a very special guest with us. She started her career in Hollywood and soon became a successful actress and model of TV and film fame. A lifelong competitive sport shooter, and now author, businesswoman, public speaker, empire builder, and visionary. Our guest currently hosts her own show, Women in Power, and co-hosts the G&E show with her husband, Elena Cardone. You probably know where this is going. She's an empire builder, as we stated before. She is a lifestyle influencer. To me, she's a mentor, and she is the definition of success. She's somebody who my culture, we look up to. We have a lot of admiration for this woman. Everything that she's been doing, it's revolutionary, and it's causing a disruption in the way business is handled in this day and age. So I have the privilege, the honor to have the one and only Elena Cardone with us on the show. Elena, thanks again so much for being here with us. It's a really special occasion.
Wow, thank you so much for that introduction. I need to take you on the road with me and just, introduce me on every stage. I loved it. Thank you.
Oh, hey, I wouldn't mind that. That'd be great. That would be fun. Let's set it up. Seriously, it's really exclusive right here. This is exclusive content, and just for you to take the time with me right now, it's amazing. So I don't want to waste any of your time. I know it's very valuable. I really believe you have a ton of value to share with the world, my audience specifically. So let's just jump straight into it. I know I just touched on your bio a little bit. However, Elena, go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself, your story, kind of about where you came from, what's going on now, and anything you got coming up, and then I'll hit you with some questions.
Okay. So I grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I left Louisiana at 17. I went to California. I knew no one, but basically I went out there to be an actress and a model for those years where I really just didn't know what else to do. I hadn't really developed any other skill. I did go to high school for acting, and then I studied the trait once I got to Los Angeles further. But I was out in California, ups and downs for the career for many, many years. But I thought I had to do everything myself. I thought I had to be this independent woman, and I wouldn't let anyone help me. I wouldn't receive any help, especially from a man. Not that I was anti-man, but in a way, I just was pro-me and pro-woman. And I just thought if some guy helped me, that was somehow cheating. And with life and with womanhood and sisterhood of all my women out across the globe, I thought I would be letting them down if somehow I became sort of dependent on a man, which was then very difficult for me. Once I finally met Grant and decided to marry him, then I was confronted with all of these issues that I never realized were so deep ingrained inside of me, that for the first 4 years of our relationship of marriage made it really difficult because I was still trying to be this independent, strong woman. I didn't understand that we were now a team and we could actually depend on each other. So the first 4 or 5 years, we were in a constant power struggle in our relationship, and kind of fighting and attacking one another because we were both vying for this powerful role, and I didn't want him to think he was the boss and no one was the boss over me, and it made it really difficult. But then in 2008 happened, and Grant and...
That was back in 2004 when you and Grant...
We were married in 2004.
Right, okay.
So now 5 years later, when 2008 and the collapse happened, I was pregnant with my first child. So the acting jobs were nil for me, and Grant's business as he knew it was pretty much decimated. And life as we knew it, we thought we were kind of rich people at the time. We had this really nice house up in the hill. We thought we were set, but what we realized is that we were just more kind of upper middle class at that time, because it took the economy to bash us over the head with the wake up call of, no, you were just living a comfortable, normal life. But once we take out this economy, you could be taken out as well. And we were under some other heavy attacks at that time, a lawsuit, some bank stuff. It made it really, life had to be confronted at that time. And so that's when I decided at that moment I was going to have to deal with all of my mental controversy that went on inside my own head. And I had to make a decision, which was actually my entrepreneurial decision, because it was the moment where I was willing to trade in everything that I had up to that point and trade up with Grant. And that meant becoming his partner in this thing and starting to create this empire of what it is today, which it wasn't back then, 10 years ago. We were on the verge of collapse. We were on the verge of losing everything. We had to go into sacrifice phase. I had to give up my career and everything I was going for and focus all of my attention and assets behind him and run all the behind the scenes operations to get him up and running, because his business had a better viable future for us and our family than mine did at the time. So I was willing to do that, and it paid off. But in doing that, I realized that where the controversy was no woman's group came after me to chop off my head, to parade it around the streets saying, oh, you are some subservient woman now, you betrayed all of womankind, you're kicked out of the group. Nobody did that to me. So I was safe there. I'm still alive. Nobody spoke out against me for supporting the man. And the evolution to where I'm at now is that the discovery of all of that is independent and depending on a man, my husband, and him having to depend on me, and each of us having to depend on each other to fulfill the roles, our specific roles in the relationship. I actually became more strong, more powerful, more independent as a woman than I ever could have been by myself, because I tried really hard by myself and I could never do what I could do now, which is truly living my purpose, doing what I want, making an impact on the world, not depending on the economy. If the economy collapses tomorrow, I've still created enough protection and wealth asset protection financially for myself that, even if I take a hit, I can't get hurt.
Indestructible. Undestructible. What's the word? Indestructible, right?
Yeah, we're at a point now where we have financial freedom, like real financial freedom. So I've now come to the point in my life where back in the day, we decided, hey, if these two little bumpkins from Louisiana, who weren't really supposed to amount to anything, if we could actually figure this thing out, which was small adjustments, by the way. They weren't really big, massive, huge changes. They were small changes, but consistently over a long period of time. And mainly us getting on the same page is what flipped the dial for us to send us up into the stratosphere. But we made a decision back then that if we ever were to make it, we weren't going to become that wealthy person that closes off the window and doesn't let anyone see it and blocks out all of what I call our people, the people just like me, all my people from New Orleans, my friends, my family.
100%. I love it.
So now I'm at this point now where I've reached a certain statistic. It's not my personal goal statistic, but it is a statistic that can't be disputed. So whether you like me or you don't like me, I possess a statistic that is indisputable. So with that, I do have knowledge that can help people, and my purpose is to fast track other people's success so you can get here as well, because I feel like the system is rigged. so that you're not supposed to get out of it. And I want to open that and dispel all those mental things that we have going on so that we actually have a chance to kind of pull out of it together.
Elena, you're just on a completely another level. Like, there's so much going on in your life that people don't even see or know about. You know, people see so much on social media, you know, and they think they know everything about you. There's so much going on behind the scenes, though, right? A lot of intent.
So much going on behind the scenes. I wish everyone could be privy to all the behind the scenes stuff. Like, it's impossible to explain all of this stuff and the minutia and everything that comes at you on a daily basis, and how to.
Love the words you use, by the way, your diction. You use great.
I never went to college. Sometimes I make up words. So
I would be surprised if you get one in the dictionary one day.
If what?
If you end up just coining your own words someday, I'm pretty sure.
I'd love that. No, but I appreciate that. I'm self-educated. You know, I was not considered a good student. Don't really love school. It's not my thing. So.
Got it. Wow.
You know,
that's huge. That's huge that you mentioned that, because there's a lot of people who wonder, do I need education? Does it matter? Right? And that's a controversial subject, and you're clearly a living testimony that, hey, you don't necessarily need traditional education to become successful.
1,000,000%. Colleges, to me, and I've never been to a college, so, you know, take that for what it's worth. But for me, unless you're going there for a specific reason, like you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or something that you have to, like a specific training.
Specialized knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. Like then college to me is pretty much a waste of time. They're not teaching you how to make yourself valuable or an asset in the workplace. They don't even teach you how to have an interview. They don't even teach you how to do finances. People can graduate from college and not know the three most important things you need to know about money, and the only three things need to know about money. They don't teach you just basic economic.
How to get it, how to save it, how to multiply it. Is that what we're talking about?
Those are the three.
Let's go. So, wow. I mean,
but I am a big proponent for becoming an asset and training and studying and skilling yourself up on what it is. Like I do believe you do need a skill. You do need something, whatever your thing is, and to become an expert at that. To really excel and stand apart, so you can just start building your own statistics. You know, when you build your own statistics, then you're listened to. Then you can become an opinion leader or a shot caller or however you want to phrase it.
Boss, you're a boss. You're a lady boss. Would you consider yourself a lady boss? From the public persona, that's the way you come across. You seem like a boss.
For sure.
You identify yourself as a boss?
I know what I'm the boss of. And being the boss of one department doesn't mean I'm the boss of everything. For example, like I'm a black belt boss at running the whole behind the scenes operations of what Grant and I have put together to build this empire, which is completely different from the role I am now doing, which is what I'm doing in present time is I'm just starting to build out a division in Cardone Enterprises that I want to build out called 10X Ladies. Under that division, I want to run eventually my own seminars for women, not to exclude the men, they're invited, but it's primarily geared and to focus for women. And then I want to use the Cardone Enterprises as the umbrella for these women to come into either Cardone Capital or Cardone University or My Build an Empire University. You understand? But this is a brand new division for me. So in that area, I recognize that I'm not really boss yet. So I come into Cardone Enterprises, and now as not the boss or the boss's wife, I'm starting to study every department. What does the marketing department do here? What does my sales department do here? What does the accountants do? And I just sit in and observe, so that now when I'm running my division, I understand the lines and the channels that I have to go through to get the products that I want to be able to be delivered to the public without causing a strain on Cardone Enterprises and its running operations already. So boss, yes, I'm a boss, but just because you're the boss of one thing doesn't mean you think you can be the boss of everything. That would be so stupid for me.
Got
Do you
it.
understand what I'm saying?
So you're the chief family officer. You run the household.
For sure.
That's what we've come to conclusion.
Oh, I'm for sure the boss of the house. Everything under the umbrella of the household is mine. And in that department, I'm definitely even the boss over Jay. You know, he's not allowed to bypass me. However, here, like I said, here, he's the boss. This is his business. It's our business, but he runs it. That's why I come in at a different level to work myself up to the head of my division, which in the future will be very successful.
100%, without a doubt. So this has really been a great formative initial conversation, and it's segue into this list of questions that I've formulated for you, because let's face it, Elena, you are amongst the top producers, the top people in this, I would say, in the world. Like, let's just be honest here.
I love you.
I'm not trying to gas you up. I'm not trying to flatter you. It's just like the reality of the situation. And, you know, you're operating at a completely different caliber. So one thing I want to ask you is, like, what is your why? Like, what is your why, Elena?
I have a few. Grant and I have as a couple where we want to reach 7 billion people. So that's an impossible goal, an impossible target. And I need impossible targets and goals to get me out of bed every day, because I know I'm running out of time. I want to see financial freedom on this planet. And I know, because I am my husband's biggest fan, but not because I'm just fangirl, but because I know the products that he have actually shifted the trajectory of people's financial course for the better. So I want financial freedom on this planet, and not to have people stuck in the rigged system. So that's one. And then for myself, I also want to restore the family values and the family dynamic, the relationships. You know, forget family, just relationships. You know, relationships
like
are
couples.
Couples are, you know, it's very popular today and it is promoted being single and doing it on your own, and that's fine. I'm not against that. I'm not knocking that, but I want to bring sexy back to the couple. I want to be the role model that says, hey, if I had that, I could do a relationship. And then how to educate people on how to do that. And it holds me accountable in my relationship, because I'm susceptible just like everyone else. I mean, relationships are not easy. It's like going for the gold medal. If you want gold, it's going to take work. And you think I'm not subhuman, or if that's the right term, where I don't have temptations to be like, you know what? I don't need this. I want out. I loved being single. I was fine on my own. You know, you don't think I have temptations every now and then, but if I put that I want to be the model couple for all other couples, do you think I can walk away from mine? No, I have to gut up, figure out how to confront my own shortcomings, figure out how to be a smart, creative, clever, intelligent woman to get my way in such a way to where it seems like it was something he wanted to do. Those are games. Those are fun for me, you know, rather than just wanting to punch and bail. Like, okay, do you know what I'm saying? So those
I
are
totally know what you're saying. And I love that you say it the way you say it, because you say it with conviction with you have experience, you know, it's coming from the soul, from the heart, and from a place where you mean what you're saying and you can actually speak on it. So I really appreciate it. You know, 15 years is definitely precious to be with somebody and to go through multiple tests and to, you know, just endure that. It's definitely amazing. And, you know, my longest relationship has been 5 years and it's running smoothly. It's just, you know, it's a process, and we learn a lot from you watching the G&E show. I mean, we were watching back when you guys were in Miami. The show, you know, has evolved tremendously just the past 4 or 5 years. The growth has been exponential. So shout out to you, Grant, for doing your thing, you know, because you guys have blown up, relatively speaking, like in a short period of time. So it's really cool to observe that. And the way I look at this is, you know, Elena, you still have so much work to do. You have so much potential. I mean, you're in your prime. Like, look at you. Look at what's going on. We have, God willing, so much time. So before we put too far ahead into the future, let's just kind of talk about how did you really manifest all of this? Because you're in quite a unique position, right? It's incredible. So just coming up to this very moment, Elena, like what has been like your biggest risk that you've taken? Has there been like one giant risk that you had to take? If you can think of anything in particular.
Well, it's what I said earlier. The biggest risk for me was putting my career, like leaving it behind to with a vision. That's all I had, was a vision of what the future would look like. And I didn't know what it was even going to look like. I didn't know we were going to come up with an online program called Cardone University. All we knew at that time was Grant used to do these seminars to the car industry only, and he would tour all around the United States, and I would book all the hotels and blah, 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 blah. Well, when 2008 happened, that ended. So the car industry got hit.
People got to give you credit, though, by the way. Like, you deserve credit, like, to get that man Grant to where he's been. And I think that's kind of where you're at. It's blooming.
You know, thank you. And that was the big risk at that time. Was nothing was predictable. It looked like, where is it going to come from? But I was willing to just say, you know what? I've always been a fighter. I'm a fighter. And no matter what, I'm going to win. Like, I will die. I will die, you know, fighting. I will die fighting. Like, that is just in me, like, for what I believe in and my cause. So I was willing to do anything and everything, sacrifice, not have this, not go out, not do this, not care what people think, forge forward for the vision. And so to say that Grant wouldn't have been successful without me is not true, because I totally married a kick-ass guy.
100%.
Like, super powerful dude. He was a multi-millionaire when I met him. He was the most successful person financially that I had ever been with. However, I'm glad that you acknowledged me for my role in it.
But you became an asset to this man. Like,
definitely. I became an asset to this man, for sure. And so I take credit for whatever he would have done without me is here. And all of his heightened success, I claim as mine. And
likewise.
And he lets me claim that, and he acknowledges me for that, which feels really good, because a lot of the times, most people can't see what I do. So it seems like that I do nothing.
Well, it's good for you to get on these.
What?
Well, it's good for you to get on podcasts and out and speak more like you've been speaking, and tell the world, because they need to know.
Exactly. And thank you. Yes, that's what I feel like. It's just maddening sometimes when
I see you get frustrated on the show sometimes. You're not frustrated, but you. Oh, I do. You got clout now. Let's use it.
Thank you.
We see the vision. We know what you want. You know, I mean, let's help you get there. That's the intention here. So I had this question written, Elena, and you know, you're talking all about it, and it really just comes down to this. So how do you balance the power dynamic between men and women a man and woman in the relationship, like when you're married? Is it just kind of figuring out who does what? Is that?
We did that. We wrote out who does what based on our strengths and weaknesses, not based on man, woman, but based on what what's that?
Based off the strengths and weaknesses.
Based off our strengths and weaknesses. It just so happens that our relationship does look more like a traditional relationship where I run the family and he runs the business. But I mean, how does an actress, that's all I've ever known is the arts, how do I compete with the best salesperson in the whole world who happens to understand real estate, business, marketing, sales? How do I compete with that? Like male or female, even if I was another male and Grant was a homosexual, the male would still can't compete with that. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, so I'm not stupid. I can want to be boss all I want, but Grant is more superior than me.
Grant's an alpha man. This dude is a savage. Like,
he's established, and I'm not stupid. I understand that he knows more than me. So yes, he's going to run the business and make all the decisions, and I can be a voice and be a sounding board for him and help support him in every way. But at the bottom line, at the end of the day, he's making all the decisions. And because I trust him, and he's never let me down, and he's always delivered in abundance, and he's never done shenanigans with me, no matter what, at the end of the day, I back every single decision that he does, whether I like it or not. It's because he's earned my trust. And so that's just the way it is, you know, with us.
That's huge. So what would you say then is?
So I'm not trying to compete with him on that level. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think a lot of couples get that messed up.
They get confused. We're equal in marriage, but we're not equal in every department. I mean, to declare that I'm equal to him in business I would sound stupid, like really ignorant, like uneducated. Everything I know from him in that area is from him.
What would you say is like one of the top things you've learned from Greg?
Oh my God. Everything I know about money, everything.
Okay.
I know about marketing and promotion and just the tenacity I've always had the tenacity to keep going, but just understanding where you fit into the link of things, you know, and not feeling entitled, but really earning your way in and how to
sense it. Yeah, you guys have this really this truly like an empire, like this political stance on life, like the words you use, like that, like you guys just really use this style of vernacular that it's clear that you're on this path of like, hey, we have like a kingdom, we have a moat, we can't let people in, like there's pawns, like you guys are playing chess out here or something. Like it's
that's it. I talk about playing chess in my book. It's definitely a chess. It's definitely.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about your book. Real quick. The title of the book is called Build an Empire. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, please go get the book. Do yourself a favor.
What it looks like, Build an Empire.
Take a quick look at it. Take a screenshot. Go get the book.
Oh, the book? Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay, there it is. I actually have a book. I'll show it to you. If your audience is interested, these books are free.
Free knowledge.
Yeah, it's if you go to elenacardone.com/empire, it's free. You can get it for free. And you also have the audio version, and I have a Spanish download.
Look at you. Worldly.
Thank you.
International. Real quick, are you Spanish, by the way?
No, but I was born in Madrid, Spain, as an American citizen born on Spanish soil.
What's your ethnicity? Just for everybody wondering.
I wish I spoke Spanish. I'm trying to learn, but it's pretty pathetic.
What are you? What's your ethnicity?
I'm a half Italian and French and Irish.
Got it. Okay. Incredible. Well, let me ask you this. How is it dealing with fame? Now that you've reached it,
What? Oh. Uh-huh.
How is it dealing with it on a day-to-day basis? How is it dealing with fame?
Fame?
You're famous, Elena.
You know, well, it's okay because I'm not at Angelina Jolie level or Tom Cruise or someone of that status, but
you want to be.
For sure, because I want to meet 7 billion people on the planet. So I want to be. How is it dealing with it? It's fine. I have no problem. I love people. I love people. And I love talking. I don't love large crowds. So, but you know, there's things that you're going to have to do in life that aren't that your favorite, that you just have to do anyway. That's why I try not to really involve feeling so much. It's just get connected to your purpose so intensely that you're willing to deal with the stuff that you don't want to deal with. So with the fame, it's like, you know, I'm at a whole nother level of accountability. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't want to be off of my game for a split second. I don't want to make that okay for somebody else to see me and go, oh, it's okay if I do that, because I'm at such an intense level. Like you said, I'm operating at another caliber. That is for real. That is not fake. So I don't have fall down days. I don't have fall down days. I have knockdown days. I've been knocked down, but I'll get back up. I will. You won't hold me down for long.
I love that. So let's talk about this then. What has been the biggest challenge in your life, Elena?
You know,
just something that you really had to overcome. Is there anything, or has it just been smooth sailing?
No, God, no.
Anything?
There's so many different points in my life where I've had to. What's that?
I can see that. Your life has been lit.
You know, like nothing comes easy for me. You know, I have to work for everything. And it's maddening sometimes. Like, I just want to be, when do I get to just be the talented genius?
Yeah.
When does it just come easy for me? Why do I always have to work for everything? It makes me angry sometimes, you know? And I think the thing that is really challenging is getting everyone on board, even the people in your own empire, in your royal court. Sometimes,
I can see that, yes.
You know, sometimes it's easier for maybe somebody on the outside like you and I to connect easier and for you to get me.
It's like selling your vision to the people around you and then getting them on the ship.
Yes, and like, you know, somebody in my not taking me seriously or underestimating me or even going behind my back and doing things that are contrary to what I'm doing as a small little attack, but it's not an overt attack and it's so little and petty that you think, did they do that on purpose? But it was so insidious because the attack was like so little, and it's like, you know what I mean?
You're looking at things like macro, micro lenses. Like, this is how you have to look at life now. You have to really monitor. Yes, because you have a high level of awareness.
I have a high level of awareness, and I know that people. I know. I've had enough backstabbing and betrayal and I try not to make me jaded. I'm not cutting the curtains off. I still let people in. I still love freely, but I'm always having to be like, is this person going to be a problem? And then I have to go down the line and think, what are they going to do to be a problem? And you know, so yeah, that is a challenge because it's there's no like just relax and let your guard down ever.
It's constant. It's continuous.
It's constant. It's nonstop. And that's why I love martial arts so much. That's why I train for an hour and a half to 2 hours every morning, because that's the only time my mind shuts off.
Beautiful.
I can't think. I'm trying to figure out a combination or protect myself.
Got you. So yeah, go ahead real quick then. Touch on your routine. What is Elena Cardone's routine? Like, what do you do? How do you start your day and kind of go about it?
When I'm in Miami, I wake up around 6 a.m. every morning. I train between 6, 7, and 9. I do conditioning first, and then boxing or Muay Thai. And then I get ready. I go to the office. I come do the podcast. I work on my book. Right now I'm working on a book for men. I want to get a book out for men.
Tell us about that.
What's that?
Tell us more about it.
Well, I want this book for men to be about how to look for a 10x woman, what is a 10x woman, how to keep a 10x woman. So it's for the person, it's for a 10x guy who
So all my
wants a
Gen
10x
Xers,
girl.
the
It's
Gen
not
Xers.
just for yeah, it's not just for the guy that doesn't want a serious relationship or doesn't, you know, or isn't interested in a 10x, like a real 10x woman. Because a real 10x woman is never going to love you just the way you are. And some men just want to be loved just the way they are. A real 10x woman is going to love you and constantly push you to for you to hit your potential, because she knows that's what it's going to take to make you happy. And when you're happy, you can fulfill her happiness. And she understands that she's pushing herself all the time also, that no one's happy just staying stagnant. Like, a flat line is death. It's got to go like this.
Yeah.
When it goes like this, the only way for it to go is down. So so it's just having men on that because so many guys have come to me, how do I get my girlfriend on the same page? How do I get my wife on the same page? How do I find what you and Grant have? So this is just like a manual for men. And then I'm putting one out for women.
Huh. I mean, I'm looking forward to that. Wow. I didn't know that was coming soon. Okay. Looking forward to that. So, Elena, since you got the book called Build an Empire, and you're working on the book for men on how to find a 10x woman, what advice do you have for couples who are trying to strive for longevity and creating a legacy?
What advice do I have for them? Gosh, so much advice. Figure out who does what in the relationship and give 100%, not 50-50. You each have to give 100% to really, kick in the nitro in the relationship, and figure out how to work as a team, as partners, as allies, really having each other's back. If you find yourself fighting each other, you're not playing a big enough game. Go get some real enemies. Like when you're playing a big enough game, you're going to have enemies. And those are good. I hate enemies. I don't like them. I don't want them, but they're good for a relationship because it gets your attention off of each other. When you have to focus on an enemy, you'll have each other's back. So Grant and I always have a couple of enemies going on. It helps, it fortifies our relationship.
Wow.
And get your purpose so big and figure out what you want to be as a couple, not just your individual goals. It's very important to have those as well. But what are your goals as a couple? And make those so far superior that you really have to work to make it work.
Yeah. So that's huge.
You have to, in order to build an empire, I always say find the one you trust and build an empire. I don't say find the one you love, like all these hokey pokey, all these other people. I mean, the love is a given, right? I mean, you're not going to marry. If you're married or in a relationship, it shouldn't be with your best friend. You're in a relationship with someone for that one specific reason, that y'all are having intimacy, which hopefully you're not having with anyone else, if that's the kind of relationship you set for yourself. So find the one you trust, because after 15 years, there's going to be days, if you're normal or human or like me, there's going to be days where you might not think you actually love the person, but those days are few and far between, but they will happen. But on those days, even on the days where you might doubt your love for someone, you have the trust. And even on those days, we can be trusted to do our job, to fulfill our roles, to have each other's back, to not be unfaithful. So that's why I say, find the one you trust and build an empire, because even on those days, you're going to get the job done.
Big time. Key takeaways right there. Straight gems. That's value, the commitment. So, Elena, you talk about like things being maddening, because it's so intense, right? Your life is intense. Like it's gotta be. You're out here living, and you're talking about the relax. What do you do to stay happy? you know, what keeps Elena happy? Like, is there anything that you specifically do that helps you stay happy?
Everything I do helps me stay happy because those are my goals and those are the things that I'm working for. So the things that make me happy are when I do an accomplishment and I have a book that I did, that makes me happy. When I deliver my online program, that makes me happy. When I run into someone on the street and they say I helped change their life, that makes me happy. These are the rewards I get.
Okay.
And then for physical, the training that I do every day, that makes me happy. I don't know, it releases endorphins. It helps me release stress.
Would you say that you're would you say you're hard to satisfy? Like, are you somebody who's, because you know what you want and you're so hardcore and you're so feisty and you're so fired up that it's like, you know what I mean? Like, is it hard to get Elena excited because you got it all going on for yourself? No?
No. I am if you bring me a Starbucks, I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. I am the easiest. Look, my executive assistant, Rock, got me this little cow. It had a piece of chocolate in it. The chocolate is gone and I still saved the cow because I love it so much. Like, you know what I mean? I don't need a brand new car like to make me excited, something big or overwhelming. I'm just this little girl from New Orleans who likes to shoot guns, who likes to pretend like I'm a badass and do my martial arts every single morning. And so like, I don't know how to be anything else. Like, I haven't been so affected by life and so spoiled to where, oh, I'm gonna need a 200-foot yacht to impress me so I can have fun. The littlest things make me happy. I am very easy to please. I love flowers. I love cards. I love little things. I love big things too. Don't get me wrong. I love my brand new plane. Every single time I'm on that plane, Grant and I, at takeoff, I can almost count. It'll probably be within 5 minutes. Grant says, and he says it every time. I don't even know if he realizes he does it. Every single time he'll look at me and say, can you believe we have our own plane? And I'm like, I can't, but I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You know? So I still love that too.
I mean, that's a good question. You know, how does it then, and this is not to take the light away from you, how is it though dealing with and having such a influential, powerful man with high ambition as your... Wait,
say the question again. How is
it dealing with and having a famous, influential, powerful man as your husband with such, you know, high ambition? Like, how is it dealing with that? Is that what you wanted ideally, or did you have to make some changes to shift into it?
That's why I train as hard as I do. That's why I'm willing to let guys punch me in the face and get black eyes, because I need to be stronger and tougher to deal with Grant. I have to have very thick skin to do what I do. And he is not
green
easy.
Eyes.
Huh?
You have green eyes?
Yeah.
Oh, that's rare.
Is it? Green eyes are rare?
Yeah, later. There's only like 1 to 2% of the human population that has green eyes.
You are hilarious. I love that fun fact. Yeah, so dealing with somebody like Grant, you know, you just have to be stronger and tougher and smarter and more clever and more powerful. It's nothing that a truly powerful woman who has it within and isn't trying to prove it to the world, but actually possesses it, can handle somebody like that with ease. And I'm getting a lot better. And I've recently made another turn where I've tapped. I made another little turn where I've tapped into another level of being able to handle him. And I'm really proud of that, because I wish I would have had it sooner. Instead of having like so much angst, I just have more creative ways to finesse the scenes.
She says finesse. Okay, I feel it. I feel you.
You know what I mean? And I don't just mean like, you know, everything he handles with everything in bed. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about creatively behind the scenes.
You got the voodoo. You got the sauce. You got the magic. You got the...
I'm from New Orleans, baby. I got that voodoo.
Dude, I can sense it. So you're surely inspiring. Drop a 5-star comment, leave a review. Let us know what you think. Make sure you follow us both on social media. Wow, Elena Cardone. Listen, this has been great. So, how do your children impact your life? Now that right? Let's talk about that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
How do your children impact you? Because I don't have children, so I couldn't really touch.
That was another big change I had to make. You know, I told you that I wanted to be this independent woman in my earlier life pre-Grant. So I was 30 when I married Grant, because before that, I actually think, and I hate to make a generality like this, but I actually kind of think like men in a lot of ways, because I never wanted to be I never wanted to be married. I always wanted to just do everything myself. I never wanted kids. And I don't know if that's a man trait. I'm not saying that's a man trait, but I never wanted to be married, which is odd, I think, for most women. I think they kind of do. So I had to turn that corner because Grant wanted to be married and he wanted to have kids. So we talked about that in the very, very beginning of our relationship. Like, what is it that you want and need out of this relationship? And what is it that I want and need out of this relationship? And so on his piece of paper, it was married, kids, da, 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 da. And I always knew at some point I wanted kids, but it was so far off into the distance. So I told him, I said, okay, I will give you us kids, but I need 2 years. I want to be married for 2 years first, just with you, and then we can do the children thing. Because I knew when I committed to children, my life was going to change more than his. I knew I was going to own that role as a mother and really fulfill my obligation as a participating mother. And
you set expectations early on in the relationship.
What's that?
You set expectations early on in the relationship.
Oh yeah, before we even got married, we decided what we wanted and needed from each other as partners.
Critical.
It's critical because before that, I had never thought to do that. So I ended up with these guys that you think you're in love with, and then you get in the relationship with them only to realize they're nothing like what you want them to be or where you thought it would be, and then you find that out later on and you're like, what am I even doing with you?
Right.
So anyway, how have kids impacted my life? Well, once I finally had them, now I wish I would have, now I'm mad at Grant for not making us start day one, because now I wish I had 3. It's changed everything. It's elevated my game. It's made me bigger, so much bigger as a spiritual being. My capacity has grown in so many ways. And,
wow.
I value and think, total my opinion, but I think being a mother is the most important role in society. I think women and children should be loved and protected, not because we're weak and can't do it for ourselves, but because we're that much of an asset to what we can contribute to society. And the rearing of children to become happy, healthy, productive members of society. That is what I am doing as a mother. So I'm raising my children to be confident, happy, thriving, which means I have to not self-educate, but I have to educate them in a way that explains things to them rather than hammering or getting angry. Or I don't want them to listen to me out of fear that if they don't, they're going to get hit. I want them to be able to rationalize. Consequences. If I do this, there's consequences. I create effects. Not, I'm going to get beat, so I better be in line like a good little robot, dog. What I mean?
No way.
So it comes with, it's impacted my life on so many ways because I've had to be creative. I've had to be patient. I have to be clever. You have to have energy for a child. You have to, and I just never knew I've tapped into so many resources that I just never knew were available to me until kids came into the picture.
Yeah, so what advice do you have then for mothers and parents?
for mothers and parents for raising kids.
The way
Don't
that,
hit your kids.
don't hit your kids.
Don't hit your kids.
Honestly, that's really important though. I think that's huge. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I was raised in my era, like, you know, that we just got hit.
There's no level of discipline if you hit a child.
I don't believe in hitting a child. I believe that's an unfair fight. I don't feel like it would ever be fair for my husband to hit me. We do not equal in strength. My child does not equal in strength to me. Therefore, my child will always be loved and protected and made to feel safe in our home, and will never be disrespected like that or hit or violated because they didn't obey me. I am not of that value system. So I believe in other things like
it's good that we get that message out there.
Yeah. No, I don't do that. My kids are going to be, that's not how I want my empire to be ruled. I don't want people, even though I train to hit and box and I love the sport that's a sport that you go into the octagon or into the cage or to the ring to do that. That's not how I want my empire run. Like, you don't just get to hit people or try to physically control people. That's not what I want. I want people who have respect for one another, who can work things out for themselves and come up with conclusions and solutions that benefit people in a positive way, not negatively. So yeah, my children will never be raised by anyone who will harm them in any way. But I have lines. I have, there's rules in my house, and the kids have to follow the rules, and they understand if, hey, you can do that. That is your choice. I want them to understand they are independent, self-determined children, but they can do that. But if they do that, hey, that comes with the consequence of you're not having a phone this week. My 10-year-old has a phone, or you're off YouTube, or you don't get TV for a week or whatever. There's ramifications, but hey, if you want to do that, by all means.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get hit because you know.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, I think you're setting a good example. It seems like you're setting a good example for people out there. And for everybody wondering, how does it feel to be rich?
I missed the last part. How much does it feel to be rich?
How does it feel to be rich and wealthy?
Rich and wealthy. It feels.
Because people want to know.
It feels amazing. I love it. I have lived in Los Angeles at 17, not being able to afford Starbucks. I have purposely bounced checks because I couldn't afford things. You know what I'm saying? Like as a 19-year-old, as a 20-year-old, I have been so poor. I don't like that feeling. I don't like not being able to have a Starbucks if I want a Starbucks. So how does it feel? It feels incredible. I love every second of it. I love that if I want a jacket or a brand new gun, or if I need some competition belt, that I can get it right then and right there. I love access. I love that freedom. And I love the freedom to be able to help a charity or an organization that might need help. I love being able to say, yeah, here's a $5,000 check. Here's 20, here's 30. Here, borrow my plane. Let's fill it with supplies and bring it into Houston to the people who don't have water. It feels good. Those are rewards.
That's really, you're like a philanthropist over there.
I am a big philanthropist. Yeah. And what is wealth for if you can't use it in the way that you want to make it
I agree.
better? Like, how many nice things can I have? Like, I don't get fulfilled by nice things.
Chanel bracelets can Elena wear?
Yeah, exactly. Look, I don't really wear jewelry.
Sometimes you got to make a statement though, right?
Yeah, I do. Like right now.
Do you consider yourself materialistic?
No. I love material things. I love material possessions, but no, materialistic. I will never need a material object to tell me who I am. I know who I am. I know what I'm made of, and no one can take that away.
Go ahead, mama. Yeah.
You can take all my money, my plane, my Chanel, my anything. You can't, nobody can take me. I got courage, I got ethics, I got discipline, I got tenacity, I got fight, I got trust, I got commitment, I got faithful, the list is on and on. You can't take character away from somebody.
You're unstoppable. So then, with all that being said, what connection, Elena, can you make between money and power?
We live on an economic planet. I'd love for the world to get by on hugs, but we don't do that right now. So, if you want to feed your family, you want to feed your community, you want to feed the world, you got to have money, and you got to know how to have financial assets, and you have to. Money is power. It's a tool. Money is a tool. It's an exchange. It's, when people actually figure out what money is, it's a commodity. It can buy more money. It can buy power. It can buy, there's nothing wrong with money. Like,
did you ever have to change your mindset on money?
1,000,000%. Are you kidding me? It was the thing that held me back from having money for like most of my life. Anything that you think about money, if you think money is the root of all evil, then you're never gonna have money, because let's face it, you're a good person. Who wants to be evil? Nobody. Okay, so you got to get rid of that. If you think money makes you greedy, or all rich people are, you lose your morals or your values when you have money, you're never going to have it. What is it that you think? If you think money doesn't make you happy, it probably doesn't, but if you're going to be miserable, I'd rather be flying in my own plane than on, JetBlue.
Sips at Starbucks.
I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, 100%. So with that all being said, with you do travel a lot. I know you just came back from quite the excursion. You seem like you went around the freaking world.
We're going again. We leave on Tuesday. We're going to London, Istanbul, Kosovo, Dubai. We don't get back until December 2nd.
Oh wow, good for you. So Tuesday as in tomorrow, or is it?
Yeah, Tuesday is in tomorrow, right?
Oh, okay. Today's Monday. I just want to let you know that you might want to pack your bags.
Thank you for keeping me up to par.
You need me over there. You need me as something, itinerary guide, travel guide. So where's the best place you traveled so far? Now that you've been here and there, you've got some.
Oh man, my two favorites. Like, I'll always love St. Bart's. St. Bart's is so magical for me. I just love St. Bart's. Anywhere in Italy, oh my gosh, Italy is, name a city in Italy, it's going to be amazing. And then, I've only been to Barcelona, but I loved Barcelona. Spain, it's so hard to say because every place has been so unique and so wonderful. I liked Singapore, I liked Greece. Just because it's so new. I loved Australia. Australia was amazing, and New Zealand. So it's hard to pick a favorite, but Paris, Italy, and St. Bart's are my top three.
Paris, Italy, St. Bart's.
All of Italy, yeah.
And when you travel to these regions, you've been able to plant your.
Maybe that's what I think I know what you're saying. Have I actually gotten to experience them?
Well, not so much in the culture. I'm saying, have you been able to connect with the culture, and at least plant your seed and gain fans or new followers and spread your message there?
For sure. Sorry, I thought you were asking, have I really had the time to experience or see the city?
Well, that's why you're doing round two.
No.
You're doing round two. That's why we got to go back.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, the thing that's impacted me the most about all these places is the people, and how similar people are around the world. They just want what's best, and they want to be happy, and they want to take care of their families, and they're such good people out there. So I've really had an amazing opportunity to connect with family, fans, friends around the world. And that is what makes it so rewarding on these trips for us. That's like, this is the 10-year vision. Back in 2008, when I traded it all in, this was the empire that I envisioned.
You're living it.
Now, yes, I've wanted, even back then, 10 years ago, I wanted to go on a global world tour and get known. And that just seemed incredible.
Is it surreal? Is it surreal for you?
Surreal. It is very surreal because I didn't know how it was going to happen. There were no products at that time. There wasn't any of that. It just seemed like a pipe. It sounded like a cuckoo lady vision, you know? And
so were there ever moments of doubt?
oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 1,000,000%.
How's your level of faith? How do you deal with like your faith? What do you do? You know,
Like on knowing something's going to happen?
I mean, to get to where your level, it's God, there's levels of faith that have to be tapped into.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about faith. I have to maybe look up that word, but I will tell you this. Huh?
What would you call it?
Oh, you mean God? Are we talking about God?
It could be.
Oh, okay. Well, let me tell you this. Because you said, have there been moments of doubt? And yes, there were moments of doubt because at that moment, there were no wins that had been collected to make myself right at that point. So
you had no statistics, you had
nothing. So when I said at that point, I want to be a billionaire and I want to be traveling the world, and there were no products to substantiate that. It's very hard to believe in yourself, and it's hard for the universe to perceive you as nothing but a kook. So I was willing to go through that sacrifice phase of looking like a kook. And it wasn't like I went out and announced it to the world, because then I really would have seemed like a kook. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to build an empire. You know, it's like, it sounds crazy, lady.
Speaking into existence though.
Yeah, but with yourself, you see. So at that time, I had to do that with myself. Like, so at that time I had to go through sacrifice phase, which was I had to knock off everything else I was doing and figure out how to self-educate myself. And then I had to do what's called like confidence in yourself. And you get confidence in yourself by doing what you say you're going to do. So I had to set up all these mini targets. It didn't matter how big or how little, but I had to consistently do them over time, over a long period of time, to where I had the trust in myself, to where if I said I'm going to do something, it happens. Why? Because I have a whole long track record of saying, hey, if I'm not going to eat dessert and I don't eat dessert, I'm trustworthy. If I say I'm going to work out 5 days a week and I work out 5 days a week, it happens. And you do that with enough things over a long enough period of time, you finally get to a point where when you say, oh, I'm going to be a billionaire, the whole universe and everyone else goes, yeah, she will. I mean, do you doubt me? Do you think I'm going to get there? Do you?
I believe in you, Elena.
See, but now I know I can say with certainty, I'm going to hit it, you know, and I'm 1,000,000% going to hit it.
Yes.
And I don't sound like a crazy lady now, because I always do what I say I'm going to do, or I'm going to die trying. So we're going to get there.
Wow.
We're
Okay.
close.
So
we're close.
Yeah. I mean, besides Grant, let's say, and maybe besides Javier, right? Is that his name?
Is that my trainer? Who?
That's your trainer, Javier?
Yeah. Javi made it into the
Shout
podcast.
out to Javier. Hola, señor. ¿Cómo estás? I'll be on College Avenue. We frequent the area. So listen, South Beach is beautiful.
Train with him. He's the best.
Oh, he's elite, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we'll give him a shout out as well. So
he's most elite because he's not given up on me yet. And he still trains me like for real.
You're a tough cookie over there. You're a fighter for sure. Javier, great job training Yelena. She is absolutely amazing. So besides Javier, besides Grant, is there anybody who you would attribute your success to, or part of your success to? Any mentors, coaches, trainers, anybody that you learned from that you haven't talked about yet, or even anybody?
I mean, certainly it is a team effort over here. I mean, Sherry runs our chief operating officer. Sherry is a mentor to me. She's, she not only helps co-run this company with Grant, she is a true friend of mine. She's always had my back. There's Jared Gallant, he's the president of Cardone Enterprises. There's Ryan Secco, he runs Cardone Capital. And then there's the whole sales team and my executive assistant and all the people in my life who really are team Elena, and vice versa. Like these people, they're like my family. I would do anything for them. They got to be protected and taken care of too. It's not just a one-sided street. But I learn from these people, and I cherish them, and I'm so grateful to have them in my life. And no way could Grant and I have done this without all the key asset players in our life.
Definitely. So shout out to everybody who's helping you, and everybody who you're helping too. It's a mutual, symbiotic relationship, and I love everything that you stand for. So how do you feel, and how do you like speaking on stage?
Well, it's interesting. I love speaking on stage once I'm out there, and then it's okay. I go through this thing that I do to myself every single time, which is, my heart pounds, my hands get clammy, I get like cold, like freezing cold. I'm nervous. I don't know, but I do it anyway. So I don't love that part. I don't love the day or two before that thing that I put myself through. And every single time when I'm done speaking, I go, gosh, why did I do that? I love speaking. That was so great. And I really am happy about it. I don't know why I do that, but that's one of the things that I tell people that can be tempted to be kind of stymied or stopped in life by their feelings, That's when I say, you know what, you just have to ignore your feelings, connect up to your purpose, and do it anyway. It doesn't matter that my knees are shaking. I have a message that helps people. So for me not to do that because I don't like the feeling of shaky knees would be being a disservice to other people that I could help fast track their success to.
Any newfound beliefs?
Newfound.
As a result of your success, anything that you've kind of had like an epiphany about ever since you've reached this new level of actualization, if you will?
A lot of epiphanies, but I think, I don't know. The main one I would say is with myself. I've just recently tapped into this new layer of myself, which is I don't know. It's hard to talk about, but it's just a new level of power that doesn't have to be forced. It's just owning it within myself and being able to, in the way I would do it. Not in the way Grant would do it or any other powerful person. Like, you might think like that's their way. I've just tapped into my way. My way works better for me, which is completely different than Grant's way. And so not having to try to be something other than who I am, and really having the trust in that my way, even though it might appear on the surface to be softer, it isn't, or it is. But no matter what, I'm going to get the end result, and maybe even a better end result.
Got it. Do you have a special diet that you follow? Because you're very in shape, I'll say. You have a good physique. You're working out for 2 hours a day. And how do you maintain, how do you sustain such high levels of energy?
I create energy. You create energy by keeping in motion and movement, and you create energy by hitting targets. People get tired in life when you have accumulated too many failed purposes. So when you make attempts and you fail, you get tired, and that could be anything. I could try to help somebody, like a close friend, and fail and feel tired after. So you create your own energy. So I create my own energy. It doesn't come from an outside source. It's not like I eat a bar and get energy. It comes from within. And I create energy by hitting sub targets that I've set for myself. As far as diet, I could have a much better diet, but I love food so much.
Favorite food, Elena? What is Elena Cardone's favorite food?
Oh my God, like my junk food? What's my favorite junk food? Well, my favorite healthy food is sushi. But I mean, I love pizza and pasta and, I love desserts and all kinds of junk food. Oh, I just love it. But I try not to indulge in that very often. I try to eat relatively healthy. I don't love the salads. I'll make myself eat salads from time to time. I don't eat meat though. I'm a vegetarian or a pescatarian. I eat seafood. What'd you say?
Fun fact. Did not know that.
Yeah. I've been pescatarian since '92.
That's the year I was born.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
That is the truth. So, I mean, you want to be financially free. That's kind of like your why, right? You talked about that, financial freedom. Shout out to Jay-Z, financial freedom, my only hope. Hey, I know you and Grant listen to Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah, love.
That's not like, why wouldn't you listen to him, right?
Yeah.
So, in some regard, I'm sure this man's got something to share with you. Besides the money, though, like, what else motivates you? Is it the accomplishments? Is it helping people? Is it getting feedback? Is it like, hey, Elena, you changed my life? Is that kind of, is it your children? Is it the legacy?
It's the legacy. It's everything that you just said. It's I want to be able to be at the end of my life and say, you know what, I'm okay. I made a difference for the better.
What will you remember for, Elena?
That's what I want to be. I want to be remembered for changing the trajectory of the course of somebody's life. Only that. I don't ask for much.
That and only that.
So I do that on a mass scale. And the more I can do that, and the more I can say, wow, she actually, made it a little tiny dent and this little tiny sliver of time on what's called planet Earth. I'll be like, okay, that's pretty powerful. I did something.
Quick little impact.
Yeah, a little punch.
Little dent. I feel it. I think you're doing well. Keep on working with Javier. You'll be on.
I'm telling you, I'm trying. It does not come easy to me, and it doesn't come naturally to me.
I saw you doing some kicks today too. You taking it up to the next level.
Oh yeah. I got my kicks going.
Kicks going, everything. Wow. Good. That's amazing. So yeah, I was asking, do you have
elbows? I do knees. I do. Come on.
I know what you do. My goodness, that's incredible. I wouldn't want to fight you. I wouldn't want to mess with you.
I don't know. Javi, trust me, is giving a couple of black eyes. I don't have my defense in very good yet, and trust me, you're probably safe in a fight with me.
Trust me, I am with you. I am not your enemy. We won't be fighting. However, though, I would like to ask you, how do you deal with the haters, like the enemies, the people who kind of do come at you with, negative energy?
There's two different types. There's the hater and the enemy, and they both have to be treated accordingly. A hater is somebody that has no products or anything for themselves. Their only hope is to distract you, and that is kind of their claim to fame. And they don't really have a lot of energy because they don't know how to produce energy because they have nothing to create. So haters, I don't like to flow them power or any energy or give them any attention whatsoever, because I don't want to breathe my life into them. So they just get ignored, and they can say whatever they want. Who cares? I mean, I don't like it. I am a sensitive person, but I'm not going to give them any air or any attention. So they get nothing. The real enemy, the one that actually seeks to harm me, my family, our employees, my friends, it depends on what their offense is. If their offense is mild, then they just get cut out of the group, or they just get cut off. Cut off the supplies, cut off the food, the water, whatever. But if it's an enemy that's, really trying to kill me, I'm going to kill them back. That's where I really have the mentality where if someone's going to be a mother effer, I'm going to be a mother effer and a half back. So, and then I don't know what the tactic is, but I'm willing to deliver a blow, like a real blow, to harm somebody that seeks to really cause harm to me or my people. I'll protect them. I'm willing to fight.
Yeah.
I protect the ones I like. I'm gonna fight. You try to take my kids from me on the streets, you're going down with the fight. And metaphorically, you try to take anyone in my group or my crew out, in a metaphorical business sense world, I will take you out.
Watch out. Watch out.
I'm not afraid. I have nothing to lose. You can't take anything from me. The only thing you can take away from me are my assets. So I don't just let people walk over or hurt the ones that protect and care for me.
And you shouldn't.
Mm-mm.
You're doing the right thing, Elena. You're doing the right thing. I asked you earlier, you were just so involved in what you're saying. I think you missed it, so I'm going to ask you again. Do you have any regrets?
Regrets? Yeah, I wish I wouldn't have done drugs and abused alcohol for 20 years of my life. Wow. I could. Do you know where I could be right now had I not wasted all my time? Yeah, I regret that. I really do. There was no upside to that.
So then, would you change anything from the past? That 20 years, you would just
yes. I would have not done all of that. I would have focused on becoming an asset a lot sooner, 10 years before I did. I regret stupidity.
Wow. What's been the best moment of your life so far? If you just narrow down to one.
I mean, I have to say the birthing of my children. I birthed both children at home, at my home, in my bedroom, without any drugs or anything. It's a very big accomplishment for a mother.
I just saw somebody on Instagram doing that. It's becoming real popular, this home birth thing.
Yeah, I hope so. It's incredible. If you're healthy and well enough and capable, it's like, it's
I believe it was Scott Storch.
It's really an incredibly powerful experience to go through a natural childbirth. I mean, any birth. I mean, you can't take that away from any mother. Any mother, no matter how they birth a child, is extremely powerful, rewarding experience.
Totally. So, let me ask you this. Because I've been watching you on social media, trying to get a hold of you, and I would say, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you've grown tremendously on social media, specifically Instagram, drastically, like within the last 12 months.
Oh, you think so?
I think
it doesn't feel like it. I feel like I'm staying at the same number forever.
Just popped up. Nah, you popping. No, you're popping.
Oh.
How important would you say using social media is, though? Because there's this controversy about it. Like the likes are gone on Instagram, right? Have you seen this change?
Is it gone already? That the likes are gone already?
Algorithms. Yeah, check it out. Check it out. So just talk about it, though. Talk to me about the importance.
Well, look.
For you.
I don't do a good enough job of it. You should be on every social medium. Again, Grant preaches this. It's a free platform first and foremost. And look, it's more important who knows you, not who you know. So if they don't know you, no one can exchange with you. It's not best product that wins, it's best known product that wins. That's why Coca-Cola wins. You know, is that the best product? Do you think we don't have a better product, a healthier product out there? No.
Right.
Coca-Cola wins because it's known by everyone in the entire world. So social media gives you an access to be global, with people to know you to eventually. So you have to be on all platforms, because the person who uses Facebook might not use LinkedIn, might not use Instagram, might not use Snapchat. You think, oh, I don't need Snapchat, it's a young audience. But guess what? Young audiences have parents that could do business with me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I feel you 100%. Know what you're saying, yeah.
Rock is giving me a signal that I'm supposed to be popping into another podcast.
Mhm.
Probably 100%. Yeah, we've been talking.
She's over my shoulder. She's like, she's giving me.
At 30 took way longer, but it's okay.
Oh.
You took your opportunity. That's what I was told. That's what you told.
Hey, gracias. I appreciate you setting this up, Rock. Thank you very much for orchestrating this entirely.
You're welcome.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, there's so much more in store for you and for us and for the world and for Elena and for me. So don't stop believing. Don't stop achieving. As always, stay happy, stay healthy, stay wealthy. Elena, is there anything that you want to share with the world before we let you off?
The world is ready for you and your greatness. So stop being selfish and withholding yourself from the world. Go out and exchange yourself in abundance with the world. We need you. We're ready for you. And I can't wait to meet you. And it was awesome being on your show today. You asked excellent questions. I really loved getting to know you. And thank you for exposing me to your audience.
Blessings, Elena Cardone. Thank you.
Okay. See you.